Hey guys, how you doing today? Just walking on my way home from picking some stuff up. What I really wanted to talk about today, very briefly, is our media. And people have this sense that our media is, our news media specifically, oh, it's a fair and balanced kind of a thing, and oh yeah, we got our objective news. It's, oh, we're so much better than America. And it's total bullshit. Like, here's a real case in point that I've been realizing over the last little while. Like, we know that the basic income would be cheaper than what we're currently doing. We know that that's true. That's not even a radical position to take. That's not a far left position to take. The Parliamentary Budgetary Office has set the cost of the basic income at $24 billion. Ontario alone spends $33 billion dealing with the consequences of poverty in the society. A basic income is cheaper than what we're doing now. But we're not going to see that. We're not going to see that reported. We're not going to see that talked about very widely, because the media has been absolutely instrumental in putting the brakes on basic income talk, right? Like when the CERB started and people started getting the benefit, there was a general upswing, right? There was a general uptick in interest in basic income, to the point where the senators, the Canadian senators were, and I'm not talking about the hockey team, our senators who sit in the Senate wrote a letter saying that they want to see a basic income passed. And now we're sitting in a situation where it's becoming more and more obvious that the Liberals are interested in selling the society back to the capitalists, who are banging on the drums and calling for us to all get back to work. And that's the situation that we find ourselves in. A media that was actually on the side of the populace would ask pretty basic questions about this. Basic questions like, hey, isn't a basic income cheaper? And if it's cheaper, wait, why are we selling the society to capitalists? Wait, who cares about these billionaires? Wait, why are we continuously structuring our economy around the whims of a handful of people who have shown that they will abandon us the second it's profitable for them to do so? Why are we doing that? But the media isn't on our side, right? The media has been captured by the billionaire class. All of the newspapers, the National Post is owned by billionaires. The Globe and Mail is owned by the wealthiest man in Canada, David Thompson, who you don't know because the media doesn't tell you about him. A literal baron, still a ruling monarch in our society. Inherited $1 billion. His father said it was going to be such a burden for him to be born with such an immense amount of wealth. And there's a reason why the media institutions in this society are the most hated, and why people in neoliberal, why cultures that live under this neoliberal sort of structure absolutely despise the news media. And it's because the news media work on behalf of the neoliberals. They don't actually do their job, right? Their stated job is to act as, like in the States, they call it the fourth estate, right? You have the Congress, the Senate, the presidency, and then you're supposed to have this fourth estate that acts as another check, as another balance. They don't. They don't act like that. They're not interested, right? They're interested in continuing the plunder, in continuing selling people into wage slavery, so that a couple of billionaires, David Thompson, Galen Weston, and the rest, the Pattersons, can continue just exploiting the populace, because that's all it's about, right? The reason the Liberals don't want to pass a basic income is because while it is cheaper to deal with poverty, the capitalists need poverty to exploit for their benefit. If poverty didn't exist, if people could look at the capitalists and say, no, I'm not interested in that. That's not something I'm interested in selling myself to. I'd prefer to go work at something that was valuable. I don't care to work for a parasite. That's exactly what the capitalists don't want. They don't want a free, autonomous society. They don't want people to be able to make independent decisions free of concern, free from the concerns that the capitalists put at their feet. And if we were a rational society, an educated society, and if we were a well-informed society, we would say, no, go fuck yourself to these parasites. Get rid of them and actually start working for ourselves and start working on our own behalf. But we're not permitted to do that. That's not something we're allowed to do. That above all else must be prevented. And our media is completely complicit. They were chomping at the bit to stop talking about the COVID-19 crisis. They were salivating at the thought. When Trudeau announced his assault rifle ban, now that's what the media is talking about. The news cycle moved on. The COVID-19 crisis is over, don't you know? Everyone back to work. I did see one thing that was really hopeful and that was really positive. They do regular polling of us, and the federal level shows that the conservative support has dropped significantly, as it should. It should be zero, right? Still 25% of the populace supports a death cult, something that we should expunge from our society. Its leader literally believes that Jesus Christ is coming back at any moment to condemn sinners to the pit of hell, compared a homosexual to a dog in Parliament during a speech. This disgusting human being is the elected leader of the conservative death cult. Literally came out recently and said, we should get rid of the CERB, or at least diminish the CERB, and get people back to work in the middle of a pandemic. Like, I mean, these people are sociopaths. They don't value human life. They don't care about any of that. They care about their billionaire masters. And if you don't like it, well, then you're just a lazy, do-nothing, worthless sort of person. And the media doesn't give a shit about that, right? They're just going to report what these people say, but no one's actually going to stand up and take a moral position or even a rational financial position, right? Because first and foremost, primarily, above all, the working class has to be exploited. There's no middle ground on that issue for the capitalist class, right? It wouldn't matter to them, like literally, to understand that it's not about the money. Like, a basic income is cheaper, right? It is cheaper. But that's not what it's about. It's about power, and it's about the exploitation of the workers. That's what it's about. And if the Liberals don't actually pass a basic income, then they've allied themselves with the death cult, as far as I'm concerned. And unfortunately, Liberal support, I mean, it's to be expected, Liberal support goes up in the time of a crisis. That always happens. Whenever there's any kind of pandemic, people defer to the people who are in power. NDP support also goes up. Just a hair's breadth, though. Just a little. Hopefully it'll skyrocket once people become aware that the Liberals are just going to take the CERB away. They're just going to remove that program. They're not going to make the basic income universal. They're not going to make it accessible to everybody. They're just going to flip off the bird, sell us back to the capitalist death cult, and go and work in some corporate headquarters when they finally get ousted. And because the society is so gullible and stupid, they'll get ousted because some conservative comes in, lying his face off. We as Canadians deserve better than this. We as Canadians, we know that we built our society. Our society is built on the idea that we should help one another. Our universal healthcare system came in because we said we want to help one another. When we see people in duress, we want to help them. And these neoliberal, fascist death cultists come in and tell us, oh no, what really matters is your own selfish ambition, your own individual interest. Don't try to help one another. And in fact, helping one another doesn't even help the people who need the help. Such is the ideology of the death cult. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of taking it seriously. I'm tired of listening to the acolytes. I'm tired of listening to gullible people in the populace who still buy into this line of nonsense. But I think that's just how it's going to be, right? Like we can't get rid of the racists, right? There are still people who are just overtly racist. So we're not going to get rid of these people, right? They're going to go to their deathbeds believing that the way to build a society is by assaulting the working class and by ensuring that everyone has the most miserable time they possibly can. That's their objective. That's what they want. And the media is happy. I mean, during the climate change crisis, right? What happened every single time? You'd have a literal expert who has actually done the research up against some hack propagandist, and they were treated as if they were supposed to be taken seriously, both equally. The same thing is going to happen here, because the media doesn't work on behalf of the working class. It works on behalf of the billionaire class. And it's going to report that way. This is how hacks like John Ivison still have a job, right? I mean, it's so ironic that someone who does no work except to write shitty propaganda articles for billionaires is considered working. Like, that's a net negative on the society. That's a huge drain. And people like that should be expunged, just like the billionaire class should be expunged. They don't do anything, they're worthless, they're parasites, and they hoard the resource we need to actually make the economy function. Get rid of them. They're not worthwhile. They don't do anything, which is obvious, right? Why didn't they create those jobs? Hey, where were all those jobs? Didn't they want to create jobs, right? Aren't they the job creators? Well, why didn't they create more jobs in this pandemic to solve the unemployment crisis? Well, where was that job creation? Oh, it turns out it's the workers. The workers are the job creators. The capitalists are just meaningless parasites. And I'm sure that if anybody actually stood up and started to do something to stop them, the media would just hop on them, which is why they're the most despised organization in the country. Good luck.